Hi and welcome to yet another Facemaker video tutorial. I am Nuno and today I'll be showing you how to create options and settings for Garmin watch faces. How great is that? So I've been asked by dozens of users to implement this feature, and yes, it took me a while, I admit, but it's done now. And you can create settings that are selectable by the user, both on the watch and on the CIQ mobile app. So what do options and settings for Garmin watch faces do for you? Well, they allow you to select, change certain parts of the watch face and set different colors and all that. And in order to, show you how it's done, I thought about it, and I think I will use another watch face that I have developed in the past. And you have the link for this video because I developed this watch face and created a video that is available on the Facemaker YouTube channel, and you have the link on this video's description. Okay, so I'm going to load this watch face here, and right now, while usable, this watch face doesn't have dynamic elements. So this will always be blue. You will always have steps and calories and heart rate and distance here. But what if you wanted to, change the color of this dial and give the possibility to the user, to the wearer of this watch face, to change the color of the digital dial? Well, now you can. Okay, so, and I'm going to show you how you can do that. So basically here on the widget main container, you now have a new sort of container, which is this one here. So this in reality is an option. It's, whatever you see here, so in this case container, will appear on the settings. So we want to give it a name that will allow the user to recognize what this option is. So I will call it digital dial color. Okay. And you know that all the containers here you can change their names. For example, here on the weather. So this one is not an exception. You can rename it and give it a name that will allow the user to know what this option is. So we want to call it digital dial color. And here on the right, you'll notice that we have a widget. This is the container. And right now it doesn't do much except telling you that these are the coordinates where it is located. But this in the future will be transformed into a thumbnail that will be shown on the menu. And right now it doesn't do that. The user will only be looking at a description, which is this one, the name digital dial color. So this is added. And now we want to give it settings, okay, to this option here. And the first one will be steps. So let's go into the ELF and add a steps container, pretty much like this one here. But I want to move these, or rather not. I'm taking care of the digital dial, not these here. That will be later, okay? Right now, I want to create a different color for this digital dial here. So the digital dial is located down here, and we want to create copies of these. So Control C and Control V. We now have a copy of all these widgets that are blue, and I want to put them here inside another container, and this one we will call blue. And remember, this is important. You have to set the name of the option for the setting, okay? In this case, it will be blue. So now I'm going to move these copies I made into this container here, right here. And finally, I need the hour's first digit. There we go. And now we have a copy for this digital dial, and we don't need it anymore. So I'm going to delete it. And this is now a setting for this option, for the digital dial color. But if I select it, you can't see it. That's because you have to set the default one, which will be the blue one, okay? So let's set it. And once this is done, when we select the main container, now you can see that the blue is being shown, okay? Now I'm going to add another setting here, which is or rather an option, which is the red. So from now on, the user will be able to select between blue and red digital dials, okay? But we don't have the images yet. So I'm gonna duplicate these again. So Control C and Control V. We have copies, and now I'm gonna move them inside this red dial. Right there and right there. But they are still blue. So now we need to change their colors. So we can do that here on the effects. I'm gonna select a U effect and change it to something that resembles some red color. Perhaps this one. Now I am going to apply this effect to all of them, and you don't have to set the effect again, because Facemaker remembers the last setting of the last effect you applied, and it will always be placed first here, okay? So just select it, and for this one too, and finally the minute second digit. There we go. Now this is red, okay? Not really red, but if I had a saturation effect, we can sort of increase this color intensity right there. And I'm going to apply this to all the others, just so we see a more striking change here on the color. Now, for the sake of this example here, this wasn't needed, but now we can see that this is really red, okay? So now this is done. We now have two options for the setting. The digital dial color now can be switched between red and blue, okay? So let's test it. Let's start the simulator here. Let's wait a little bit. And there we go. Now, this right now is blue because we set it as the default, okay? But if we go and change the settings, so to trigger the app settings, you have to go to Settings, Trigger App Settings. And then you get this message. You have to press the menu button or long press the menu button, which in this case, for the Phoenix 8, it's this one here. So long press it, and we can now see the settings, okay? I'm going to press the digital dial color, and now we have these two options. Now I'm going to select the red one, so click it, and then back and back, and there we go. Now we have the red digital dial selected. Now let's go back into the trigger app settings, long press the menu button, select digital dial, and select the blue one. Back, and there we go. We're back to blue. Now, if we happen to change the watch face on the watch itself, and we had the red color set, just like this, okay? So now I am going to close the simulator and launch it again. Somehow the simulator didn't start, so I'm gonna wait for the images to be created, just one moment, and launch it again, and there we go. Oh, it was launched. After all, I just didn't wait. Yeah, now let's wait for this one to be launched. Yeah, there we go. Now you can see that if we switch to another watch face and then went back to this one, the setting, the red setting, would still be set. because the watch face remembers what your last setting was. So you can see the possibilities here. You can create a lot of things, change the background, change the data being displayed on a certain widget. So that's what I'm going to show you now, which is, for example, here on the right we have several widgets with several data types. Here, for example, we have the steps. So let's say we wanted to give the possibility to the user to change between steps and, or rather, for example, heart rate, BPM, beats per minute, and change it to body battery, for example. Let's do that. Okay, so here I am going to add another container and set it to, I don't know, complication. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, let's call it complication 3. So 1, 2, and 3. And now we can set it to be located here. As I said, this is not important for now, but this in the future will be turned into a thumbnail for the menu. Okay, so keep that in mind. And you can set the location and size of the container now, so you don't have to do it later when this feature is implemented. Okay, so here, complication 3, I will add a ELF heart rate, and there we go. And we go into the old complication here, and we can simply move these two. So the image combo and the line here, okay? And we have these two there. And now I can delete this one. And now I'm gonna add a ELF body battery, okay? And oh, now I see that here, this BPM is, yeah, it's embedded in the background color. So I need to remove this lettering here, and for that I'm going to use another feature, which is the edit file on external editor. So let's click it. And what Facemaker does is it exports the image straight into your favorite graphical editor. In this case I use GIMP. And by the way, you can set this here on the preferences, graphics editor executable, and just point it to your Photoshop or GIMP executable. And when you press this button, so edit file on external editor, Facemaker opens the image on your favorite image editor. So now I need to delete this BPM thing here. So I'm going to select this color. Well, it's not this, we need the color picker. And right there, and now I am going to erase this. So let's go and edit the, well, I don't think that this is, oh, I'm not using the brush tool, sorry. Now I am paintbrush, and this is huge, of course. We have to define the size right there, and now we can just simply delete this. And you can use whatever method you want. I'm using the longer one, which is to manually delete the pixels. Okay, so now this is done, and now I just have to overwrite, okay? And when we go back into Facemaker, magically, the BPM will be gone, okay? So we can now add here on the heart rate a text artistic, and write BPM. And there we go. Now this is not the right color. I will change it here to change the white, and we'll apply an opacity effect and lower the opacity just so it looks the same as the others. Right there. And this is done. And now I am going to copy this text artistic, Control C, select the body battery, and Control V. And now we have a copy of that artistic text, and we just pasted it here, okay? And here I am going to change to body. There we go. Now I'm going to lock layers because they get in the way. And now if we switch between body battery and heart rate, you can see that this changes too. So this is exactly what we want. But now we want the body battery value. And for that, I am going to add an image combo right there and press generate. And now we need to match the size of the font. So yeah, this is way too much. 31, I think. Yeah, more or less the same. Okay, so we can use this, and we'll pad it with zeros because we've been doing it to all the others, as you can see here. So yeah, this should now be done, believe it or not. So let's try this on the simulator, okay? But first let's save, and then I will launch the sim. Now let's wait a little bit, generating all the images and the code. There we go. Now, right now, you'll see that we have BPM, and I made it just a little bit too, you know, transparent, but it doesn't matter. Right now, it's showing BPM. Let's trigger the app settings. Long click, and now we have a new option, which is the complication 3. Let's click it and select body battery. There we go, back and back. And now we have the body there, okay? And just so we have some data there, I am going to select some different data. So for example, here, oh no, the heart rate is done here on the activity data, and we can press play. And now I will switch back to heart rate. There we go. Complication 3, select it, select the heart rate, and then go back and back. And there we go. Now we have the heart rate right there, as you can see there. And if we wanted to see how the body battery, well, I don't think we can set it. I'm not sure. Oh, yes, we can. So I'm going to switch back into the body battery, trigger app settings, menu, complication 3, and set the body battery. Okay, and back. Now we have the body there, and we go into the simulation activity monitoring, select set activity monitor info, and the body battery, I think it's somewhere. Well, now I'm not sure. Oh, you set the body battery. Okay, it obviously is being set somewhere because we have 5 there. So it should be available somewhere in here. But yeah, I'm not sure where you can set it on the CIQ. Maybe you can tell me in the this video's comments. But yeah, this is how you set the options and settings for Garmin watch faces. And how great is that? Now you can give a lot of customization to your users, and this is especially addressed to the Facemaker watch face professional designers, which are obviously selling watch faces on the CIQ store. And yes, this is how you create options and settings for Garmin. And remember, these settings are available on the watch and on the CIQ mobile app, so the user can set it wherever they want, okay? And I think this is working very, very nicely. And you just have to be careful not to give too many options to the users, because as you know, Garmin has a very conservative memory management, and the memory is not much. So the more widgets you have, the more images you have, the heavier the watch face will be. So you should always keep a keen eye on the memory usage down here. I'm just launching the simulator here again. So you can see here on the bottom, usually the memory is displayed here. So you can see here that we're close to the limit. So you should test the hell out of this watch face before you thought about releasing it and making it available to your clients. Okay, so yes, this is Garmin watch face options and settings. I hope you liked it, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye.